Canada, our home and native land.
Hello, how's everyone doing today? It is Burke Family 54 Comics. My name is Steve. Welcome to another live stream on my channel. I'm excited to talk with some really awesome dudes tonight from, you guessed it, Canada, about the comic book market. Now, before I bring each one of them in, I would like to invite you to subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already done so, I do lots of hauls, unboxings, live streams, giveaways, reviews, previews, all of that and more. All right, so let's go ahead and say hi to some of the guys that I have in tonight. I have 4 guests joining me tonight, all from the great north. And first up, I'm bringing in, you know him as Team CGC 9.8. His name is Jerry. What's up, man?
Hey, Steve, what's up? Yeah, great intro there. I was liking the national anthem. Yeah, so thanks for inviting me to the podcast. Yeah, and you know, normally you find me at Team CGC 9.8, trying to make videos. You know, I'm right into kind of collecting sort of the 80s, 90s, and moderns, all in the 9.8s. So we come at that from every different angle on the channel. And yeah, great. I can't wait to talk. I got a couple things written down about why Canada's pretty sweet and having to do with comic books as well. Like, one is Wolverine is Canadian, so you're welcome, like, pretty much. And Todd McFarlane is Canadian too, so that's 2 great things. And I think the last thing I just wrote down is, like, Alpha Flight needs to be in the MCU. Like, if they revamp X-Men, Alpha Flight's got, like, cameo in or something like that.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for looking forward to chatting, though, man.
Yeah, it should be a good time. We have 3 more people joining us. I'm going to go ahead and just go in order here. The next person I have, his name is Ty, also known as the Canadian comic collector. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Bert? Thanks for having me, brother.
Dude, I'll tell you what, we are off to a great start because Jerry is rocking a Flash shirt and you're wearing a DC Comics shirt. I appreciate you guys repping some DC characters. That's what's up.
I wore it just for you. I wore it just for you, Bert. I knew you love it, so just for you, buddy.
Oh, there we go. All right. We got 2 more people. Next one in. I've actually known him the longest of anyone on here. His name is Sandy from the Comic Night, or the Real Comic Night on Instagram. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy to be part of the show. Thanks for inviting me. Welcome to the Canada talk. This is going to be fantastic. Burke, nice job in introducing the video with that national anthem. That was lovely. I loved it.
Right.
So just to plug myself, let's do. I started everything off on Moon Knight Life, so that's where I stemmed from. I stemmed into the Real Comic Night, because the night and the night, you know, it's kind of a play on words. And now, since COVID started, I opened up Night Shop. So on Instagram, it's night__shop. So I'll just plug myself right there, and let's talk about Alpha Flight for a couple hours.
Yes, I'm excited to talk to each one of you guys about all the different types of ways you guys collect. We do have one more joining us tonight. His name is Joel from Newbie Comics and Collectibles. What's up, man?
Hey, what's happening, brother? Thanks for having me. Yeah, I started laughing when you put the "Oh Canada" there, so that was pretty funny. Jerry, I think you stole my my facts of Canada. I was gonna say Wolverine's Canadian, so you're welcome. Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. Thanks for joining. Yeah, let's talk some comics. Let's talk some Canada.
Boom, there we go. Before we do that, I want to say hi to some people up in the chat. We already saw this comment, but I'm going to go ahead and highlight it again. Maple syrup and curling, eh?
Curling.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Curling is the best sport to watch if you want to take a nap. It's even better
Very
than
hard.
I'm surprised we don't have a single hockey reference yet. Evan, what's up, man? Karate Kevin, hello. How you doing, buddy? Web Frame Todd. First time I've seen you in here. Hello. Canadian comic collector rocks. Oh, they must be talking about Ty. All right.
That's a friend of mine. I told him about the stream tonight, so he decided to check it out. Thanks,
There we
buddy.
go. There we go. What's the show about? What are we talking about? How differently the Canadian comic book market is to America's, and basically highlighting these different Canadian comic book channels because they don't get enough love here on the YouTube. So I'm excited to talk to these guys. Let's go, Newbie, Joel, Alpha Flight, and Beta Flight. What do we have here? Hey, Comic Books NYC, Kavi, what's up, man? We got a lot of really cool dudes up in here. Hello? Hey, Alpha Flight Forever from Otto from 3 Minute Basement. All right.
Yeah.
I love that show. Otto, you guys do a fantastic job. I've been listening to podcasts a lot since I moved from the city. Now it takes me like 40 minutes to get into work. Wow, you guys are fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
3 Minute
sure.
Basement.
Podcast.
3 Minute Basement is great. All right. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give everyone about a minute or two to talk about how they got into comic book collecting and, you know, what are some of their favorite characters and why. I'm just going to go ahead and go down the list here. Jerry from TeamCGC9.8, I'm going to go ahead and assume that his favorite characters are already at 9.8. Go ahead and talk about how you got into comic book collecting and maybe talk about why 9.8 so people don't know you.
Yeah, so I mean, I got into comic book collecting in the 90s. So, you know, favorite superheroes, I probably got to say Batman, Spawn, Spider-Man, kind of like all neck and neck, kind of depending on the day, I guess. But yeah, I got into it in the 90s, sort of got out of the hobby for quite a while. And I would say 3-4 years ago, really, you know, decided I wanted to get right back into it and buy a lot of the books you know, that I grew up really liking. So that's kind of the 80s and 90s. And then, yeah, the 9.8s, you know, I buy these like the Overstreet price guides and things like that. And I like to read the columns before the price guides of the Overstreet advisors. And they just talk about like how the year went in the comic book market and stuff like that. But they're really experienced collectors. And there's a couple of them that are like, hey, for modern books, if you can afford it, and if you're kind of coming at it from a bit of like an investment perspective kind of thing, you just get the 9.8s if you can. And that, yeah, that just kind of resonated with me. And, you know, it was one of those things where, you know, I kind of sold some stocks to like buy a little bit of books. So I was thinking about it as a bit of an investment kind of thing. And yeah, and then now I think just since then I've been like picking off first appearances and all the, yeah, kind of Batman, Spider-Man, Spawn oriented, but got some, you know, X-Men too, and Wolverine.
And Ninja Turtles as well.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles, Star Wars. Like, yeah, I kind of sometimes on the channel I'll talk about like the way I collect. I do like to stick to like those big sort of iconic characters, and I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is definitely one that's like sort of overlooked sometimes. But I think is definitely iconic, and Star Wars too. But like, yeah, I mean, Spider-Man, Batman, those characters are gonna be around for 100 years. So if you're like me and you're kind of buying these books, wanting to hold them like a stock for the next like 20 or 30 years or whatever it is, you know, it makes sense, I think, to have those like big brands that you know will be around 100 years kind of thing. So,
There you go.
yeah, 9.8's still going strong, I guess. I got right into it about 2-3 years ago now. So.
I was gonna say, I remember your first or second video I watched, and you're like, you know, we're just trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And I'm like, man, I've been doing this for like a year. It was like almost a year at that point. And I'm like, dude, this is tough out here. But you know what? To you,
I got a lot of free time on my hands. Like, I just do these videos because I'm bored every day. So, you know, and then, yeah, the more you do, the more subscribers see it and stuff, I guess. So that's
yeah, your channel's growing nicely for sure. All right, next up we have Ty from the Canadian Comic Collector. He actually found me on Chino Comics and More auction one night and was like, hey, I've been watching your stuff. You got good videos. I'd love it if you subscribe to me. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll sub to everyone. And he seemed like a good dude. So, Ty, what's up, man? When did you get into comics? When did you get into comics? And what are some things that you like to collect?
So I've been collecting now. I bought my first books in high school, so it was just over 10 years ago for me now. As most people know, it's a bit of an expensive hobby, so I got out of it pretty quick once I realized that I couldn't buy any of the bigger books that I really wanted. And then life happened, things got in the way, and about 2 years ago, I got back into collecting. So for myself, as you can see behind me, those aren't books, those are just some canvas things, but I'm a big Silver Age and Bronze Age fan. Was exclusively a Silver Age guy when I started out, but I've moved slowly into the Bronze Age and a little bit into the copper, like, you know, late 80s, but mostly silver and bronze for me. Those are the books I love. I love the art. I love the storytelling in the books, and for me it's like owning a piece of history. Like Jerry mentioned that he's kind of in it potentially for an investment. Like I look at it personally as I just love owning a piece of history. I love having these books and saying, wow, like this book is 50 plus years old and I've got it here in my collection and I can read it and I can hold it, and that's what I love about the comics.
Biggie Shack says that he likes the comic collector and that you are his guy. So you must know Biggie pretty well.
I have no idea. I do not know Biggie. This is our first meeting.
Biggie Shack is quite the character. If you do not know him, he is quite the character. That's for sure.
Pleasure to meet Biggie.
I think he prize tagged me. Okay, all right. Okay, I do like your DC shirt. That is awesome. What are some of your favorite characters?
Well, Marvel. I'm Marvel and DC. Doctor Strange is one of my go-tos. I'm trying to complete his early run, that early Silver Age run that he had there. Love some Spider-Man. Pretty much anybody really. I collect a little bit of everything, but Doctor Strange is probably my go-to. X-Men. I'm trying to complete that Chris Claremont run. So you know the 94 to up. I think he stopped around issue 279. So I'm trying to complete that whole run. So those are my go-to titles for sure.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm excited to have you on tonight. It's gonna be great. So next person up, we have Sandy. I started watching, actually, I think I started watching his YouTube videos. This is the first time that I found him when I was just starting out on YouTube. This guy was making videos of going to Comic Cons and selling stuff. He had his wife in his videos. He had this red couch he would always sit in, and he had this really, really long, he had a couple long boxes, obviously. He had a long box that he'd go through and pull out all these insane keys. So next up, we have Sandy from the Comic Night. When did you get into comic books, and what are some of your favorite comics to collect?
Well, funny enough, the red couch wasn't with me when I first started collecting comic books. I was you know, I was just a kid going to stores, and actually it started with collecting cards, the action figure, not the action figure cards, the comic book cards. I have actually this year I had a little bit of time to prepare because I was watching you guys. This is the 1990 set. So this binder is actually when I was a kid. I never really changed it. It's like I used to cut stuff out of it, and there's a little drawing I had of like crash test dummies. Yeah, I was a kid, whatever. I still keep that because for me, that's where it all started. When I was old enough, like I always had a few long boxes in the closet from when I was a kid. But when I was old enough to get my first credit card and everything, I was able to buy on eBay and scour through the US market. And that was huge for me. On the back of those cards, that was basically my Bible, because on the back, they have all the first appearances of that character. So that was where I jumped ahead a little bit. So I gathered up a lot of first appearances when I was about 21 or 20 years old. Yeah, going on 15 years ago now. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad I did that. We'll say at that time the dollar was actually above the U.S. Now we're just hanging by our toenails because we're getting, our dollar sucks, and buying on eBay is like no longer an option for us.
We're going to talk about the buying on eBay, and we already had a question about American price variance. We'll get to all that for sure.
I can imagine.
I see some Marvel stuff behind you. It looks like you collect some Spider-Man and some Hulk. Is that right?
Yeah, it's strictly Marvel for me. It's never been really DC, and the only DC I like is Batman and Swamp Thing. Aside from that, just not my thing. I don't really dig it. But yeah, my favorite characters are probably, like, I started on Instagram posting Moon Knight stuff because I was so excited. Jeff Lemire was going to be writing for it, that series in 2016. So just before that series started, I wanted to, get. There was no Moon Knight accounts, so I started my own, and just to ramp up for the Jeff Lemire series, because he's a local. He's not from Toronto, but he lives in Toronto now. He's a fantastic writer, probably the best there is right now in modern comics. Whenever he puts out a book, it goes right to the top of the list, because if you read his Black Hammer stuff, nobody else is doing stuff like that. Taking every age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, the Golden Age, and putting it all inside one story. It's fantastic.
Nice. I will say this. I know you're a Moon Knight fan. I have a friend named Mark Spector Comics. I don't know if you know who he is.
I've seen his page.
This is what I know about Moon Knight. I did not know that Moon Knight's name was Mark Spector.
Well, he's got 3 names, actually. Well, 4 if you count Moon Knight.
But before I had him on my channel, I actually thought the guy from Mark Spector Comics, I thought his real name was Mark Spector. That's
oh my god!
I know.
You and Newbie should change your names.
There we go. Oh,
what a dig!
Burn. All right. Next up, we do have, just like Sandy said, we have Newbie Comics and Collectibles. His name is a little bit hard to find on the YouTube. There's some hyphens in there and exclamation points. He found me as well from Chino Comics and More auctions. He's a great guy. He's been uploading lots of content. He likes Fantastic Four, among other things. So, Newbie, why don't you talk about when you got into collecting and what you like to collect, bro?
All right. Yeah, I actually, what got me to collect was the 1990s Spider-Man cartoons. And I remember there was this one episode where Red Skull comes and then Spider-Man's got to pick like what team of heroes he has to get. And I remember seeing like he had like Iron Man pass by and Captain America. And I guess that's where the hobby actually really started for me. Favorite characters. Number 1 is Iron Man, of course, Venom, Silver Surfer, Gambit. And this one might be a little curveball, but Ant-Man. I know a lot of people might roll their eyes, but that is a guy I've always liked. And I'm like Sandy. I'm not really too deep into the DC. If I had to pick a character, it'd probably be Batman as well, just because you see more of him. But yeah, other than that, that's where it all started for me.
All right, awesome, man. I'm excited to talk to all of you about some of this stuff. Okay, before we get into some more comics and stuff, I do want to highlight a couple comments that people that came in here. We had obviously Biggie Shack that joined us, Jason Lambert. We had the Jabroni. Jabroni's got a big channel. He's awesome. He's a big turtle fan. Don Dizzle, what's up, man? Hawaiian Punch 72, hello. 69 Chop Shop. Comics Connections, real nice. Yeah, actually, what's really funny is like a week and a half ago, I was at 785 subscribers or so, and they kept like telling people to subscribe to my channel. And now I'm at 868 or something. So it's real. It's real. Manny, what's up, man? Yeah.
That's my shirt.
Canadian, USA, internet line crossing not perfectly. Is what happened. Okay. All right. So one of you said that you did some digging to find some differences between America and the US. I think that was Jerry, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, what was it? My facts, that Canadian comic book things. But man, what I've noticed, what I did mention, I think before we came on camera, was with the whole COVID-19 thing. Like my packages from the States lately, a couple of my buys are taking like about a month, whereas before they would take like maybe a week or two. So everything's being held back with that. I mean, yeah, we can talk about getting crushed by the Canadian dollar. Yeah, I know when I started getting back into things 3 years ago, it was about the Canadian dollar was a little bit higher than it is now. But yeah, it's been pretty much decimated in the last year, I guess it would be. But yeah, it's one of those things. I really try to search in Canada on eBay. So CGC 9.8 in like the Canadian listings only, I guess it would be. You go to the advanced search thing. So I'm really on top of that, just making sure, you know, if there is anything in Canada that I can buy. But yeah, there's I did a video. It was on like some of my favorite eBay sellers, and because there is a few eBay sellers on eBay that they don't, you know, they'll ship basically to Canada for about $17.50 or $20. No global shipping program, or no, you know, where they add the tariffs right on the checkout. Those are the ones that I completely avoid on eBay. Because basically it'll usually be like $30 to ship plus like $70 in tariffs. So it's like $100 to get like a $200 9.8 to your door kind of thing.
What?
So those I totally avoid. Yeah, those you got to avoid those. I'm sure like we all know about those, but
yeah, taking the eBay avenue is not even worth it anymore. With especially if it comes through and you have to pay for customs as well because it's crossing a border, it's total nonsense.
Yeah, I always look for the ones that don't have the import tax and all that. Like that's what I do. I'll look at the price. I'll see the shipping. If it's got an import, I kind of just scratch it and go off to the next. Because it's just ridiculous, man.
And then when they offer, they say only, well, there's U.S. only, but some of them say no international shipping. Sometimes you have to ask them, like, do you mean Canada? Like, cause like, what do you factor in as international shipping? Because some of them will be like, no, we're not shipping to Canada. It's like, okay, well, like maybe you should put that in your listing as well, right? Just say it outright.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize there was so much to like look at when you guys are buying online. So
we got to take it to the next level.
You guys
move on reviews. Like you can go, you sort of know the seller's name on eBay, and you don't contact them through eBay because that will mess us up. But then you go on Instagram and Facebook and try to find that seller. And then you just avoid the eBay fees. And I purchased my it's what is it, Incredible Hulk, the first Rocket Raccoon CGC 9.8 white pages. It was $650. It was $650 on eBay, and I sort of recognized the collector or the seller and added him on Instagram and said, "Oh yeah, like maybe we could do this directly." And I bought it for $500.
That's the best way to do things. Good job.
Yeah,
good job,
and
man.
So, like, eBay you can kind of maybe get the lead, and then and every now and then on eBay there are, because the volume's so, there's a lot. Like every now and then there are just straight up people that might not know what they're doing, just trying to get rid of a book super fast, and they're like pricing it very reasonable, and that's happened to me a couple times. But then there's always that, if you're not patient, there's like a million things that you can overpay for on eBay too.
And not to mention, we lose the value. Like we don't get, when we buy a book on eBay from the US, we don't get it at the value that the book is actually worth. We're paying more. The other thing I find too is like mystery boxes, for example, right? Like say you do a $50 mystery box. Okay, they're promising you a grand prize and then $50 worth of comics. But by the time we get it, we're paying $80 to $90 after it's already been sent to us. So we're actually losing $40, $50 right off the top, right?
I pay $630 for the Chino Comics box. That's what it comes to Canadian. $630.
Say that again.
When I buy the $450 Chino boxes, I pay $630 Canadian.
Holy man!
I was just about to say, I looked up
like $450-ish maybe.
Yeah. US.
That's a lot
for Canada. Sorry if my mic is being weird. I think it's the internet. I don't know. Who knows? $500 US purchase would be $668.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
And the market PayPal for PayPal and eBay too to that.
Yeah.
And the US dollar dictates all the prices for comic books. Like everything, it's all on eBay. The GPA is all US. Everything is US. Overstreet is US. So we're always at the mercy of the US dollar and our useless dollar.
Yo, Rod, what's up, man? No, I am. States. The rest of them are from Canada. We did have a question earlier. I'm going to get to it now before I forget. But I had some more, obviously, to talk about. Let's see here. It is from Jason Lambert. Okay. Since they're Canadian, do these guys go after American price variants? So before you guys answer that, when you guys get new comics that come out on a weekly basis, like a lot of ours are marked at $3.99, $4.99, is it the same price or is it higher?
Way higher.
So tell me how much they are, and you guys look for the American.
Yeah, so like $3.99. I know just because I picked up Venom 25 about 2 weeks ago, and yeah, I bought 2 copies, and it was like $13-14, something like that. Yeah, you're paying American cover price. There are some sketchy stories I've heard where some people pay the shipping for it, like some comic places have. I've heard that. Luckily, mine doesn't. But yeah, the price that you guys see, we basically pay double.
I think I figured out why there's echo. So I think it's because we have so many people in here. The speakers are picking up someone else talking. So when one person is talking, I think I'm going to mute everyone else to make sure that it's better.
I'm going to try to disconnect a couple things here.
Andy, you said that it's more as well. What were you saying?
The biggest pain in the ass is going to your local comic shop and seeing all the books are $3.99, $2.99, or $4.99, and you get to the counter and they're punching in like $6.50, $7.50, $5.50. Like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, we got to add the exchange rate, our currency exchange. It doesn't match, so we pay more every single time.
That is nuts, dude. So you're telling me that the books you guys get are the American version with the American price on it, but when you guys go to pay, they add the exchange rate on top of it.
Yeah,
I don't know if all shops do it, but I know the few that I've been to, they add to it because they have to pay. Like, they're paying diamond distributors, right? So they're paying in U.S. currency, and they need to stay alive too. It's very important for our community and for them to stay open as well.
Wow. So do you guys go after just like, is there any books that are actual Canadian price variants? Because I've seen them in the past of like Star Wars and ASM 252. Do you guys look for the Canadian price variants or the American price?
Yeah, like I noticed, that I don't think that like American price variant's not a thing. Like, that's the normal price. Like we think of it just like U.S. collectors. I think if that's what the guy was asking. But yeah, like, I mean, Canadian price variants are still collectible because they're more rare than the normal price variant kind of things. But it's not my thing, really. I've did a video where it's like every now and then I'll sort of like opportunistically grab a Canadian price variant type of thing. But I only have one in the CGC 9.8. So like, I'm really fine with just buying direct versions. And even I think about the same like with newsstands too. I know a lot of people are really like big on newsstand hunting and maybe will pay more for a newsstand type of thing. But for me, like, I'm super happy with like a direct version at a really great price. I'm not too into like, oh, it's got a barcode, now I'm gonna pay like way more, except for Spawn #1 and Image Comics, because Image was like, that's a bit of a different thing because they didn't have that newsstand infrastructure kind of thing. I think it's like 1% of all Image Comics were newsstand, but for everything else, yeah, I don't know. I just I think, yeah, the price variant thing, we think of it just like Americans do. You know, there's like normal variant, the price variant, and then the Canadian price variants are more rare and more collectible. Yeah, so some people get into that.
It sounds like to me, because not every state in America has sales tax on their items. Like Kansas does. Oregon and Washington, I believe, do not, and there's several other states.
Pennsylvania.
Taxes are huge.
So,
taxes are another thing.
It sounds.
Like,
it sounds.
Some of my favorite sellers and stuff. Go ahead. Sorry, Steve.
It sounds like America is basically not having to pay this extra tax that Canadians are paying. That's kind of what I would equate it to. From what you guys are saying. Jason said, "That's crazy that they have to pay premium all because the American dollar is worth more. Big hugs to our fellow neighbor up north." That's
yeah,
good.
I always say like the people that are maybe getting into the hobby, like you almost just have to accept it. The exchange rate, you can't do anything about it. You're gonna get killed on it, and make sure if you're buying online, try to do it in Canadian dollars. Search on eBay Canada, but yeah, every now and then it's just one of those things. So yeah, it's.
And on the flip side too, though, it works the other way, because if we try to sell, like I know personally, I prefer selling to Canadian because the shipping is so cheap. Where if I'm sending it to an American, I have to say, okay, well, guess what? I think one guy I sold to in Texas or California, can't remember. I think it was like $45. And when I told the person that, they were like, I'm not adding $45 to the book. It's not worth it.
Right.
It's basically one of those things like, well, welcome to, Canada buying and selling. We got to do that every day, right? So it's difficult.
So on my Instagram on Night Shop, I everything up to like $5, I just put it for $5 because our dollar is like it's $1 more or $1 less. Like really, it's not going to make or break me. But everything over like $6, I start to divvy up. Like if you look at my posts, if it's like $10, I'll do like 10 US and 12 Canadian. So like that's the way I deal with it. But everything under $5, like who cares? Yeah. It's like 50 cents. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Canadians are known for their variance and expensive shipping. So
you guys ship for expensive. You guys are so expensive to buy from. Who are you kidding, bud? Holy.
Even, maybe a good example I got because I bought two CGC 9.8 from a friend, so it was direct. And he showed me like the shipping bill from the States, and it was from the States. And for him to ship the 2 books to me in like a normal box it was like $43, I'm pretty sure. So I always search on eBay for like $17.50 to $20. Sometimes I'll pay $25 shipping for a graded comic, but I always try to go for like 20 or less. But I'm pretty sure like they're paying it's $45 to get it here, so they're eating. Some sellers for CGC 9.8 comic books, I think, eat the shipping cost to like, because I'm a perfect example. Every now and then, if I really want a book, I come in and at a pretty aggressive price because I know, hey, this is cheap shipping to Canada. I've been waiting for this for like 6 months, and like this is it. Like if I want this book, this is I don't want to wait another 6 months. So yeah, I think it helps their auction price sometimes when they have a low Canadian shipping price.
I have a question here. This was from Jack.
Where's Mr. Miracle? That's my question. Come on. Mr. Miracle should have joined in on this. We need Dave here.
Oh, is Mr. Miracle Canadian?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Man.
Okay. There was a question here from Jaguar. I'm not even going to try to say that last name. I heard books were printed in Canada. Any truth to that? Do you guys know?
I've heard that. Yep.
Yeah, I've heard it.
I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that before.
Okay. I brought something down just if I could find it.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It's kind of like our oil. We ship it and then we buy it again. So I mean, who knows?
This book was printed in Canada. I could tell because
the dollar's been taking the hit because the oil has been doing.
There's no ad. The back cover has no advertisement.
Oh wow!
Oh
yeah, and the inside cover has no advertisements.
Oh, I did not know.
What?
I believe that's printed in Canada.
Wow.
That's crazy. It should say.
It should say on the bottom. It doesn't?
No. Usually it says printed in USA on the book.
Yeah. The tagline, whatever they call it, that block there, it's not there.
Oh wow.
No.
So I have a question for Jerry here, who likes to spend lots of money on 9.8. Do you find yourself spending way more than you want, or than a normal person would if they were in America, because of the exchange rate? It sounds like you do.
I think I did for sure in the first year I was buying them, but I think I've gotten better lately. But yeah, it's all for Canada. For me, you have to be so patient. Like there's so many of those listings that have those tariffs, and they're in the global shipping program. So it's just absurdly expensive to get the shipping. So yeah, I think now I did that one video of my favorite sellers because there really are like 4 or 5 US sellers that maybe once or twice a month will post new CGC 9.8s up for auction, and their shipping's less than 20 bucks. So I really am like on a hawk like those guys, and then I search eBay Canada a lot too, because there's still, the thing about eBay Canada is I think every now and then, because the market's kind of closed off from the US, like there's not a lot of US buyers wanting to buy a book that's in Canada. So the market's a little bit smaller for certain books. So I find you can get deals. Like I saw a Killing Joke CGC 9.8 in an auction in Alberta go for like $141 for a CGC 9.8. Usually, like I've seen those sell for $200 before.
We were just talking about you, Mark Spector.
Mark.
We were just talking about you.
It's Mark Spector.
It's not his real name.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for Sandy, because Sandy sells books at cons, or he used to at least. Do you find yourself selling books for more at cons because you're having to pay more for them usually, unless you're buying collections locally? Like, basically, are you up-pricing some books because it cost you more, or like, how does that whole thing work?
I mean, I price my books the way I feel they need to sell. The prices on the books are the prices on the books. You go on eBay, GPA, but if I'm selling at a con, no, man. If a guy comes to me with a stack of books, I'm gonna cut him a deal 100%, like 1,000 times a day. But if you come with me with one book, I think it's the same in the US too, man. If you're buying one book, you can't really divvy it up. You can't give the guy much of a break. But like Tyler knows, we dealt together on Instagram. The more you buy, I'm more than happy to give you a deal. Keep these books in Canada. I don't know if that's a thing that you guys ever hear, but whatever. It's pretty cool. But yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's much of a difference. Our prices are our prices.
Gotcha.
I definitely like support. There's like 3 or 4 Canadian sellers on eBay and that one seller that I went direct to on Instagram is one of them. And yeah, like I always check them, and you know, in that sort of, you know, just to support Canadian sellers, basically. Yeah, keep it in Canada, and I don't mind, you know, if it's maybe a 5 or 10% more, maybe for like a really awesome book that I want, is, you know, sometimes I'll be willing to do that just to like support a Canadian seller.
And the fact of the matter is, it's either you buy it at a convention or you pay for shipping from the States, and then risk paying customs and getting lost in the mail or whatever. Like, it's there, it's in front of you, it's in your hands. You don't have to worry about anything.
I was gonna just
take it home.
The important thing is, I would rather almost spend that extra to know, like, hey, I got it in my hands, I'm gonna take it home, instead of like waiting. You know, it's
some of these sellers that I go to a lot, you can tell that they're popular. And there's one that they're actually on the border in New York, Niagara Falls, New York. So twice a week they come over to Canada and ship through Canada Post, even though they're an American seller. That's one of my favorite sellers. It's very popular, and their auctions are always maybe 5 to 10% more, I think. Sometimes you can get a deal, but others, like you see, I mean, some of these Ultimate Fallout 4s that are going right now, the 9.8s, they're over 800 from this seller. There's one on eBay right now. So pretty hard to get deals, but yeah, I'm with Joel, as you know, paying up for a little certainty is sometimes worth it, if it's just, oh yeah, there it is.
I think mine's a 9.6.
A hottie.
It is a hottie. I think mine's a 9.6. So it could not join Team CGC 9.8, but maybe it will be. Who knows?
I don't have a raw copy. I really wish I had a raw copy of that.
Hey guys, we should just put it out there. You know, like, we have every option to open up a PO box in the States and have everything shipped there, and just drive to either Niagara or your closest border and just pick it up from the PO box. Like, I don't want to sound like a bunch of crybabies here crying about shipping and US customs and bullshit like that. Like, there's always a way. There's chit chats. It's a shipping company that we could use to get, like, say 4 of us get our books together, and we're like, hey, let's send them to Florida for CGC, right? Like maybe I'll send these. I don't know. They're probably all 9.8s. But anyway, I'm a sucker for the raw. I'm from the old school. But anyway, yeah, it is what it is, and we just got to deal with it. There's no.
Well,
whatever.
I sold, or when I sent a batch of books to CGC, I did it through its Gotham Central in Mississauga. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you
Carlos. I always use that guy.
Yeah,
Guy.
he's a really good guy. I meet him at my con every year too. Carlos, I believe his name, and yeah, they did a good job. It's he straight up told me it's basically $5 more per book than what if you did it yourself, but you don't have to pay for shipping. Nice.
I remember when you showed that book off in your channel.
Like I sent these to Carlos to get them signed and everything. That was at Fan Expo when Jock and Jeff Lemire were here. This one's signed by Jeff Lemire and Jock. So I went through Carlos. He's easy to deal with, but yeah, going through the shop is really good for us. Or bulking our books together and just sending them to CGC.
Nice. I have a question next for Ty and Joel, and then I want you guys to start showing off some of your favorite books if you guys want to. Ty and Joel, you guys definitely seem like you guys get new comic book day books on the reg. So is there a lot of comic book shops in Canada like there is in America? Because I live in Kansas, which is one of the smallest populated states, and I drive an hour and there's 3 comic book stores, and I drive another hour and there's probably 6 comic book stores. So there's a lot of comic book stores here in America. Is that the case in Canada or not?
Where these guys live, it's the case. Where I live, it's not the case. I'm in the same position that you're in, Steve.
Okay.
So I'm over in Halifax. So that's on the very east coast of Canada. I'm on right on the Atlantic Ocean. That's where I'm at. So my city of Halifax has a population of probably 450,000 people or something like that. And I have access to probably 3 or 4 shops, and only 2 of them really deal in the back issues that I'm into, the Silver and Bronze Age. So I really struggle to find shops. These guys, where they live, they have a lot more options than someone like me. So,
but you guys have the nicest malls, don't you?
No.
Come on.
No way.
I did a project when I was in grade 5. You guys had amazing malls back then. I guess you got left behind.
Alberta's got the best malls.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah, roller coasters and
all that oil money, baby.
You need to brand Mall of Canada, because there's a Mall of America in Minnesota. I've been to it. So
I feel like there's a similar one to those in Edmonton. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, the guy that has the boilers. He actually owns that. Yeah. So
well, I know for comic shops in my city, I'm in the Windsor area, so there's about 200,000 people in my city, and we got 3 comic shops, and 2 of them are new comic book day pretty much only. There's some back issues, but one that's the closest to me is a really big back issue place. They got new comic book day stuff too, but they're a really good shop. But yeah, there's about 3 close to me, and yeah, I think it's pretty similar to how the U.S. is kind of for comic book shops.
I got 3 myself. Yeah. It just depends on, I don't know, the different owners run it differently. I know the one shop, if you go there a lot, he's gonna basically like you a bit better. But yeah,
rightfully so.
Yeah. And absolutely right. Then there's one that's basically has comic books in their name, and then they're just basically all Magic Gathering and things like that. I remember when I first started off, I had said hey, you have any graded comics? Because that's how I started off. And I remember just this guy was laughing at me. I think that was 6 years ago, and I just never returned there ever again. So yeah, it just depends. But I'm not too far from Sandy. I've been to Toronto. There's a few shops in Toronto.
Yeah, we got great shops in Toronto. Yeah. Oh my God, they support their own.
Where you got to walk up the stairs It's like where all the shopping is.
The BMV, but don't tell that secret. Oh my God, I picked up so many keys there. It's insane. now it's all pick through. But 5 years ago, 6 years ago, oh my God, I used to pick up crazy books there. I picked up the first Black Panther there. I picked up Marvel Premiere 28. That's the Moon Knight's first solo, and then I picked up the first Ant-Man, the first Scott Lang Ant-Man.
Marvel Premiere, yeah.
Yeah, there's a Marvel Premiere title as well. But yeah, I perused there all day.
I think they did. I don't know if it was on YouTube or maybe like a Kojiko channel thing, but they did a 30-minute like video about that store. Actually,
Really, it's fantastic. They got 3 branches downtown.
Oh, do they? Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah. There's 3 of them. But the one on Bloor, the one you have to go upstairs, that's the best. Oh my God, they have like Burke, just to like Steve, just to draw a picture for you. There's about 100. There's about over 100 long boxes up there. It's insane, and they're stacked. They got magazines, videos, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of graphic novels, and the prices are ridiculous.
Sounds like a Hastings or Half Price.
Exactly, it's a half price books.
Okay.
100%. But they don't put stickers on their books. I don't know. I heard about that. It's crazy. I saw Comic Tom like using a knife to clean stickers off. Like, what the heck are they doing there?
Oh shoot! All right. We've talked a lot of. I did put this in the chat for anyone who wants to know. This is a pretty big difference. USA and Canada. 300 million basically difference, 290 million difference in population, even though Canada and USA have basically the exact same amount of land mass, which is kind of crazy. But no, I guess it's really cold up there. So
it's not that cold.
It's not that cold.
I'm wearing shorts. Okay, it's
like I said, all of you guys are wearing t-shirts. So
I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts.
Right after this, so.
Strap up your skates, eh?
Yeah, I got the hockey game on there, eh?
Yeah.
You guys say A a lot? Do you guys say A?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like we don't say A that much unless we're like trying to fake being Canadian, sort of. Kind of like how we're A.
Yeah, like when we make fun of each other, I think we do it in like, slang or in our talking, but I don't think I've ever been like, hey, like I don't know.
I think I say it a lot. Like I'll just be like, "That's pretty cool, eh?" And I guess that's Canadian. Like I guess Americans don't say that much, but I say it like that all the time.
I think I do the same thing. There's certain phrases that you say that just sound better when you end them with "eh."
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know if you guys ever like lived out in BC or anything, but like there is like some like territorialness in Canada. Like me moving out to BC, being like an Ontarian. And you get made fun of for talking like an American out there.
Yeah, they look down on you. They look down on you.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and I mean, I live like pretty much in Windsor, so like we're really like Americanized here. I'm right across from Detroit.
Yeah.
So yeah, we like even my brothers and sisters, my stepbrothers and sisters, they come down from like Montreal, and they think we all talk American too in Windsor, like we sound American. So I get made fun of all the time for being like an American Canadian.
Yeah, I got a lot of Americans here too, because I'm just Buffalo is about 25 minutes over the river.
Yeah.
Oh,
this is true. There are more Californians than Canadians.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. I think there's like maybe more people in New York State than Canada as well. Like I think
it probably is. Let me look that up real quick.
Maybe
that's
more.
The thing about selling comics in Canada. It's really tough because our market isn't anywhere near as big as the US is. If we could somehow get shipping to be a lot more affordable, it'd be so much better for us. But because if you think about Canada, to ship something from Halifax, which is all the way east, to like Vancouver, which is all the way west, how many hours is that on a plane? But to go from Windsor from Windsor to Detroit or even Cleveland or like whatever, it costs so much more.
Yeah, they can't even do it directly though.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. It's like it's so hard to compete when all the Americans can buy any book they want for like $4 shipping.
Like, it's amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it's true.
But again, just open up a PO box and have everything shipped there, and go there once a year or once every 6 months.
I have one more question, and we'll start showing off some cool books if you guys want to. You don't have to, obviously.
I don't have cool books.
Okay, well, you had about 3 that were pretty cool over there.
You're cute. That's so nice of you, eh?
What do Canadians honestly think of Americans?
Can I use the Fifth Amendment here?
Be completely honest. I know Joel actually was wearing a University of Florida hoodie in one of his videos, so he must like the Florida Gators and some footballs. But overall, what do you guys think? Do people in Canada hate America or like America?
You guys
when it comes to hockey and the Olympics, we hate you.
Yeah, I think it's just like a crazy uncle. You know, you see them once in a while, and then they like just talk a lot, and you're like, okay. But after that, I mean,
just smile and nod.
Yeah, it's like okay, yeah. But I don't think he hates them, or like I don't know anybody. Like I don't know. We're pretty respectable anyway. Like people, I don't know.
The bottom line is that we're all people. It doesn't matter if you find a person from Poland or wherever, like whatever the news says is. Pardon me?
We don't have that here. That's not a thing.
I don't even know what kind of government you guys have.
We're still got a little bit of monarchy.
We're a free tribe.
Wow.
Every man for themselves.
That's crazy.
No, I think America's more free than us, aren't we? Don't they have like supposedly have smaller government?
I don't know. 50% of our wages go to tax, so I don't know. Call that what you will.
30%.
Yeah, you got some decent stuff, Steve. Not all bad.
That's yeah. Wow. Okay. So Slapjacks is from Ontario. That's pretty cool.
Slapjacks.
Hey.
Respectable and respectful. Nice.
Oh, from the man himself.
The man himself, Stan Lee.
On the grave, just to watch this show.
Yes, he is here for these Canadians. You guys have free healthcare?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we do.
You suck.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but we're waiting like 4 hours just to get like a Band-Aid on our elbow.
Yeah, it's not what it's made up to be. It's you got to wait forever to get something, and like even if you have a cough, you go to the hospital. Typically, you don't go to the hospital for a cough, but I'm just saying you'd end up waiting a good 3-4 hours for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just a good comment, Stanley. I need a few cigs. Okay, all right. I figure you guys could show off like I don't know some of your favorite. Let's try to do 5 to 6 books each because I do have a couple of you guys coming on my channel in a couple weeks. So I don't want you guys to show off all of your stuff because I'll probably have you guys show that stuff off when you come on my channel. But who wants to show off some of their books?
I'll go first. We'll start really low. I don't want to be. I don't want Jerry and Sandy to go, and then
I'm going next.
I told you I have nothing.
Okay, all right. Here we go. Here's Newbie.
So yeah, the 2 books I got. Basically, I got Eternals 1. This is basically a constant reminder because when I started collecting comics, this book was like $50. And now you can't get it for I think under 300, something like that. It's probably going to go up more. So this is a book that I've always wanted just because it's a constant reminder never to overlook things. And obviously it's going to be hot. The other book I got is the first comic that I actually ever bought when I first started out. And I never knew what it was until a few years later, but it is my first experience with Gambit. And yeah, it's just valuable for me because it was the first one I got. So yeah, those are the 2 I got that I'm showing off today because I'm not at home. So yeah.
Dude, those are sweet. I'm excited to have you on. I want to say it's 2 weeks from 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, you're going to be on my channel on Tuesday on my new show, What Do You Collect? I'm excited to talk to you more then.
Yeah, man.
Ty, you're on my show in 3 weeks. What's going to show your favorite books?
Okay. I just brought a few. I don't have any big, huge keys or anything. Like I said, I've been collecting for like 2 years. Still building the collection, but I just brought a few of my favorites with me today to show you guys. So if you saw any of my videos on my channel, Beast. This is a first furry Beast. Really happy to have this book. It's in great shape. I love this book. I love the Beast character. I love X-Men, so that's an awesome book that I love. Shazam 1, one of my favorites. Absolutely love the movie. Great adaptation of Shazam. Absolutely loved it. This book here, I got it at my local comic shop for like $25, I believe. And as an X-Men fan, this is one of the most iconic X-Men covers in my opinion. So happy to have it. It's only about a 3.0, but it's still awesome to have in my collection.
Sick book.
Huge Silver Surfer fan. I didn't mention that earlier. I don't know why, but this Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer. It's a mid. I don't know. It's like a 5 or a 6, but still really happy to have it. Love Silver Surfer. And these two books here, I got them from my new favorite comic shop, Night Shop. You can find him on Instagram. He got me. I'll get that in my camera one at a time, I guess. So 2 Silver Age X-Men books here. End of X-Men 46. And then X-Men 20, got these from Sandy's channel, so I know he plugged it earlier, but Night__shop, check them out. 2 beautiful copies of some Silver Age X-Men books that very proud to add to my collection just today, actually, hot out of the Canada Post.
Boom. Nice, man. Nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's awesome. Uh-oh, what was that? Carlito, get me started here. He wants to ask Jerry, Barry or Wally? My answer is definitively Wally. He's the best Flash.
Oh, yeah. I'll go Wally. I'm
right.
with you, Steve.
I think he just asked because you're wearing a Flash shirt. Okay.
Yeah.
Jerry, who wants to go next to a couple books?
I got a couple out here. I could go. I just brought out some big ones. I can show everyone. Oh.
Boom.
Nice.
That's a nice one. That's I think that's my favorite book probably. Yeah, favorite 80s book. And yeah, like cool fact, in the 9.8 it's like a 5.8% 9.8 ratio, so of all graded copies, only 5.8% of them are 9.8s. And that's like unheard of in the 80s, basically. In the late 80s, that's why this is $2,000 basically.
Yep.
And then my favorite modern book. Oh,
yeah, you just did a video.
Beyond number 1. Yeah, either this or Ultimate Fallout 4. You know, I've really talked about them quite a bit on my channel a lot. And but Batman Beyond 1 is more of an overlooked one. And yeah, one sold last. A couple days ago, somebody was telling me, I made a video about it, $890 for one of these. Yeah, there's only 160 something of them. So yeah, that's all I just brought up too.
Boom, dude. Nice. I thought you were about to pull up your ASN 300 and then pull up another ASN 300.
I got another one.
Really quickly before we go to Sandy, do you have an Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, Jerry, in a 9.8?
No, I don't have that one.
Okay, all right. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's kind of one I want, but it's I bought Ultimate Fallout 4 instead of it, and I'm happy I did pretty much. So
why don't you just go ahead and get a 9.8 Action Comics number 1 from 1930.
Oh yeah.
Well, what are you waiting for, Jerry?
All right, Sandy, what do you got?
I was expecting we'd be talking about more Alpha Flight, so I didn't pull out any, so just to get everybody away from it. But here's a couple of my favorites. There's the ever coveted 181.
Wow.
I have another one coming from CGC, but Steve, if you want to do another video, we can talk about my upcoming. I have a bunch of books coming from CGC, and there's going to be a lot of fire in it.
I'm excited. Either your channel or my channel, whatever you want. I'll join you.
Yeah, I should probably do it on my channel. I haven't done anything since my daughter was born, but I think.
Congrats to you, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. She's lovely, and during this time, there's nothing better. Because she's such a distraction, and the best distraction that there could possibly be. I don't watch the news. I don't do anything. I just focus on her. Here's when I met Stan Lee.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Man!
I'm not a big CGC guy. Like I don't really It doesn't matter. This is going to stay in my collection forever, and it doesn't matter if it's yellow label, green label. I don't give a shit. It stays raw.
Boom, dude. That is sick. Awesome. You guys, do Canadians like Captain America? Or do you guys like the MCU movies?
Oh,
I'm
hell yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
So look, Elf Light, we talked about it, so I grabbed
There
it.
we go.
Joel's shook his head. He doesn't like Captain America.
It's about time.
This one's sick, too.
I mean, I'm not against Captain America. It's just, I don't know.
I thought we were going to talk about Alpha Flight 13 this whole time. Like, did anybody read that? Did anybody read it? Number 13? It's
No.
the best. It's the best. Heather Hudson has a nightmare, and there's skeletons, and there's fire, and John Byrne is just like at his absolute peak of everything. You have to read it.
I thought Captain Canuck was going to be brought up, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I didn't bring any Captain Canuck with you.
Now he's
Down
in comments, actually, so.
Is there really a Captain Canuck?
Of course there is, man.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
That's amazing.
Of
That-
course
I mean,
there is.
Vindicator's pretty much like, sort of, kind of
Yeah,
Captain.
very similar characters, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
similar. Very similar.
So who's the best Canadian character, real quick? Is it Wolverine? It's got to be Wolverine, right?
Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern.
Ah,
Oh,
That's the best. That's the
Oh,
best
yeah.
right there.
that book is worth a lot right
I
now.
need that one.
I can't believe it. I had Hoser Comics. I don't know if you guys know him, Casper. He went to Chicago Comic Con and or C2E2, and he picked that up. Well, he picked that up for me, and he brought it home.
wow.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, I will say this before we get off. I have been to Canada before.
Nice.
To Whistler.
Where?
So that's on the southwest portion. Is that right?
Where were you
Where?
at?
Whistler, right?
Oh,
Whistler.
Whistler, BC, yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, West.
My
Beautiful.
my grandparents had like a timeshare or something up there, and I went with them. It was pretty nice. It reminded me a lot of Washington and Oregon. This
Yeah.
very similar.
Pretty
Yeah,
much the same.
Seattle,
Nice to
too,
see.
as well.
It's beautiful there for sure.
Nice.
It must have been romantic, Steve.
What's that?
It must have been so romantic.
I
With
was
his
like,
grandparents.
I was like, yeah, well, yeah, true. I went there with my first, I was 13 or something. I can't remember.
Oh my goodness.
I've never had a DUI. And in fact, I've only gotten a speeding ticket one time in my life.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Coming from that Carlito guy. He looks like he's had a couple DUIs.
17 minutes.
Carlito is a great guy. How dare you? No, he actually is a really good dude. He actually sent me some really cool AOKs.
Yeah, I think I recognize him actually. Yeah.
He sent me this.
Oh,
Oh,
you.
San Diego Comic Con #5 Power Ranger. And where is it? There it is. I don't know how this came out to 9.2. It should be a 9.8, but Detective Comics 1000 art
Oh,
journal.
nice.
He sent me both of those. He's a good dude.
Hey, Steve, did you get any of those Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossovers?
You mean these ones?
He's got them behind him.
That
Yeah.
them? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
dude.
this is the number one.
On my mind, I gotta get them.
This is the #1 second print 1 of 10 variants.
Oh,
So
shit.
this is a really, really expensive book.
I was gonna say I didn't see it. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, that's it's like $250, $200. This one is the #1 second print 1 per store. And then this one, I'm gonna go full screen real quick. This one right here is the #2 1 of 25 variant, which is the first appearance of the Green Ranger Shredder. So yes, I do have all of the Power Ranger TMNT books.
I was gonna say I didn't see those ones. I only saw like the first prints or whatever, but the covers are I love the colors.
They're so
Yeah,
awesome,
they're
dude.
great.
It's so awesome. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna have you guys just plug your channels, talk about what's coming up on them, because all of you guys have stuff coming up. It sounds like. I'm just gonna go in order here. Jerry, what you have coming on your channel?
Yeah, just trying to stay consistent with the content, and yeah, maybe 4 or 5 videos a week, but just coming up with lists that I think are cool and whatever ideas I come up with. I'm pretty try to just come up with the ideas sort of that day, even though I have some ideas kind of written down, but it is kind of a spontaneous thing. I try to keep it that way. But yeah, just talking CGC 9.8, looking on the census, looking for rare ones, and yeah, staying in, just buying what I love, right, is kind of what I talk about a lot too. And so 80s, 90s, McFarlane, Spider-Man, Spawn, X-Men, just, a lot of the stuff we kind of talked about. But yeah, just trying to stay consistent with the content. And yeah, it's a Team CGC 9.8 on YouTube if you want to check it out and subscribe.
I'll put a link to each one as each person talks. This is Team CGC 9.8. If you go to YouTube and type it in, I think you can do spaces or you can put them together. Either way, you should be able to find it. The Canadian comic collector, Ty, you are, I want to say you're around 100 subscribers now.
Yeah, I think I was at 93 before we went on today. I gained a few more today. I put out a new video this morning, so nice. I got up to 93. So hopefully I'm at 100 by the time I check my phone after this stream. That was my goal today. So we'll see. Hopefully.
So what do you have coming up on your channel?
So I just put out a video today. Actually, it was a comic cleaning video. So if you guys are looking to clean some of your books, I just kind of go over how you can do a really cheap and inexpensive way, not cheap, but an inexpensive way to clean your books and shine them up a bit. I'll have a few. My channel, it's just basically a way that kind of follows my collecting journey. I'm just starting my collection. A few years ago, a year or 2 years ago, I got really serious collecting. So my collection's growing by the day, especially during this whole quarantine mess. My poor credit card has been used frequently over the last 2 months, but my collection has grown significantly. But I mean, if you want to come check out see some cool Silver Age, Bronze Age keys that I'm picking up, I'll have my Chino Comics unboxing video here in the next few days. Hopefully, I think I'm going to get that tomorrow or the next day. So
I got mine today. I'm going to do a video today. So
nice. I'll be looking forward to their video. I've seen a few so far, and they've definitely brought the keys as they promised. So I'm very excited to see them still.
Nice. All right, Joel, from Newbie Comics and Collectibles of all sorts of weird spelling. What do you got going on your channel? What's happening?
Yeah, so I just got a few more top 5 list books to be on the lookout for. I try to go the route that nobody's really doing right now. I know no one's talked about Iron Man in a while, and I know it's a weak run, but there's still a few books to be on the lookout for there. And yeah, you guys can find me on my weird spelling, Newbie Comics and Collectibles. I'll try to fix that as soon as this video is done, I guess. I just passed 100 subscribers. I really want to take this time to thank you because you really pumped me up. You really put my name out there, so thank you. And I think here as well. You guys do a great job plugging, so thank you guys.
Really quickly, I would like you guys to see my daughter on the newest addition to our family.
Oh,
hey, look at that.
We have a new kitty.
Nice.
Yeah, our last one ran away. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Scared. You better take him back to your room. He's getting scared.
What's the name of the kitty?
Green Ranger.
His name is Ranger.
Shredder?
I don't know. I don't know if we have a name yet. We were thinking Figaro. We were thinking if it was going to be a girl, it ended up being a boy. If it was a girl, it was going to be named Nova. I suggested Oreo because it kind of looks like a Oreo. But we'll see what happens. Yes, thanks to all who subbed, all the Canadians. Okay, Sandy, do you have some videos coming out on your channel sometime?
I mean, I have an idea floating around in my head right now. Like I said, I have a submission coming in from CGC. And before I sent them all to CGC, I went through a comic presser that, over some time doing local shows, you talk with all the vendors and who they use for pressing and cleaning. And I use Kevin Polidano, the comic doctor in Oshawa. And he pressed and cleaned a good few books, a 180, 181, 182. There's a lot of fire that's coming my way. So I asked him if he wanted to do something on YouTube just to talk about pressing and cleaning. He's a very, very reputable guy. He gets even people from the States sending him their books, and he'll send them to he'll send them back, and they'll be CGC'd. He does a fantastic job. I did send him a few books before this, but this one coming is going to be really good.
Sandy, you need to do more content than you think is possible.
Well, go check me out. I'm the Real Comic Knight on Instagram. Check me out on Night Shop. That's where I sell. Tyler knows. Anybody else who's in Canada, if you want to do some trading or selling, or I might even buy. Who knows? But all I know is I have 25 long boxes here that I need to get rid of. I got to buy diapers.
What is the name of your website?
It's of the Instagram selling site, Night Shop.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So night _ shop.
Nights _ There it is. All right, here we go. I'm going to put a link to Sandy's selling page.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, everybody watching, make sure you guys sub up to these guys. These guys are really good guys.
Yeah, sub up everyone up in here. I will say that I personally, just from what you guys brought, I personally went up 6 subscribers. Jerry's probably at 50,000 subscribers already.
He's getting his gold certificate in the mail tomorrow, probably.
His channel is awesome.
We should send him 9.8s just so he has more to do.
Yes.
More videos to make. We need 9.8s just raining on Jerry.
It just needs to be just falling on his face.
That would be a great screensaver, but like behind him.
Oh,
classy. You gotta have it classy.
There you go.
I need to get a graphics guy to do
The Matrix code. The Matrix code.
Yeah, just comic looks like Adrian Pananace, who has 2 hours from me here in Kansas. He said he subbed up the whole Great White
Beauty.
Thank you.
We the
Thank you.
We the North. What was
Okay, so is it ketchup chips or all dressed? Because I'm
Team
all dressed?
ketchup. Ketchup chips.
All dressed chips are better, Sandy.
Okay, I'm all dressed. All dressed is way more addicting.
Boo.
Like after like 3 ketchup chips, I got all the like.
Ketchup is a novelty. You know, it's
I'm more into
all
that.
dressed. I'm like still shoving them up.
Bacon one.
Oh
Ketchup
yeah.
is an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes would like the ketchup chips. You guys know who Patrick Mahomes is. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's in Kansas City. He knows what's up.
I just want everybody to know that you said you're a Chiefs fan and a Blues fan. Those are the 2 defending
I
fans.
did not say Blues fan.
Oh, you're not? Okay. Just making sure.
Burke, are you? I'm a Blues fan. Burke, you're not a Blues fan?
I don't like hockey.
Ah, well.
Oh come on, Bert.
It's not an American sport.
Typical American. I was just gonna say.
Come on, we'll get you on. We'll get you on some Leaf games, and before you know it, you'll be a Leafs fan.
Kansas City Chiefs went to their first Super Bowl since Super Bowl 3. Okay, and so it's been a long time since we've been good. Kansas City Royals went to the first championship in 2015 for the first time in 30 years. So K-State's never won a championship. So I'm not a bandwagoner fan.
Go Cats.
Go Cats. All right, there we go. Carlito, your age, he really is. I have his number. There's some funny text going on in there. If you like cigars, yeah. You get a certified Iowa cigar. They're like none other. There we go. All right. Thank you to Jerry and Ty and Joel and Sandy for hanging out with us as we're talking the Canadian comic book market. We might have to do this again.
Thank you for being such a fantastic host. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
you're gonna have me on your channel soon.
Yes, hey.
Still on, eh?
30.
All right. Thank you everyone for hanging out. And as always, please sub up everyone in here. Thank you everyone in the chat for hanging out. And as always, go Cats, Cowabunga, and it's Morphin time.
Go Flame.